Hello friends, welcome to day 15 of Spellbinder's Crafty Advent Calendar. Today's crafty surprise is a cute 3D embossing folder. I'll be using it to create an interactive card using the pop-up stage from the large die of the month from December. I'll also be using the flower from day 8 and the sentiment from day 4. I'll start off by constructing the interactive stage. The platform of the stage is out of black cardstock and the sides of the stage out of cream. I have everything die cut. There are several score lines and I'm just creasing those before I get started. Working with the two identical large die cuts, that V area is going to be folded up to create a mountain. Next, the tabs will be adhered not on the side that is creased, but on the other side, on the back of it. It will be lined up against that score line at the base of the mountain in the center. And then I'll go ahead and do the very same thing with the other large die cut, adding the adhesive to the back of the tab and then lining it up right against the crease in the center. Keeping the top of the mountain folded flat facing the center of this large die cut, adhesive is added to the bottom of the tab, and then the bottom of the large die cut is simply folded up. And now the side of the stage can be attached to these die cuts. The small tab on the side of the stage is kept to the left-hand side. Score lines create 3 rectangles. Middle one is centered and adhered to that first crease line of the portion of the die cut that was just folded up. And then it is opened up to ensure that it is completely flush with the crease line. And I am giving several seconds between each step to let the adhesive dry before I move on. With the inside of the stage facing me, that first crease line is folded down, some adhesive is added, and then it is simply attached to that center square on the side of the stage. And like every other step, whatever I do on one die cut, I do on the other. Again, working so that the inside of the stage is facing each other, adhesive is placed right along the bottom of the black portion of the die cut, just a thin line, and they're adhered together. And then there'll be 2 tabs on either end. They're folded in, adhesive is added, and then when the other side of the stage is adhered, it is important to make sure that they are completely aligned. Platform will have 3 slots. The 2 smaller tabs will be adhered to the front and the back. The longer one will be placed in the middle slot, and it is important that when these are put in place that they are lined up right to the edge of those slot lines. This will ensure that there's no gaps between these tabs and the platform. To ensure that the interactive element is going to function smoothly, I do take some time and pop it up and down, applying some pressure several times. The pink heart, also from the large die of the month, is going to be embossed with our crafty surprise. Half of the heart is embossed, and then I line up the design on the other half and run it through again. I'm using Spellbinder Scout. This is a really handy little die cutter. For this embossing folder, I just need the platform and one of the die cutting plates. I'm going to be adding 2 daffodils from the day 18 die set onto the heart. Leaves and stems, along with the decorative panels that are going to go on the front of the stage, have been cut from mint cardstock. The flower heads have been cut from white cardstock, and I just want a soft blush of pink, so I'm using Distress Oxide ink, spun sugar. And I'll go ahead first and adhere the cup to the center of the flowers. Then the smaller die cut cup will be adhered to the base of it. And then it is finished off with the little die cut oval on the top. Before I start adding in my elements, I'm first going to put the decorative panels on the front of the stage. Flowers are going to sit on top of the embossed heart, so I'll first add in the stems. Second stem will overlay the bottom of the first one so that they sit at different heights. And then I can add in my pretty flowers on the end points of the stems. And then I'll tuck in one of the leaves and it's ready to be adhered to the stage. A small amount of adhesive is added to the back of the heart right at the base, and then it is slipped in centered on that back tab. And to prevent it from slipping, I'm going to hold it in place with reverse tweezers until the adhesive dries. Inner sentiment is going to be sitting on that center tab. I'm going to have to raise it up so it's just held in place temporarily so that I can decorate the tab that is in the front with these pretty little flowers. Flowers will also be added to the decorative panels on the front of the stage. These flowers and leaves come from the tunnel slice die set. To raise the banner sentiment, I'm going to be adding an acetate extension to that middle tab. The long tab was cut 2 times from acetate, and I'm going to adhere them together with double-sided adhesive. Now I'll place another strip of the double-sided adhesive on the front of the tab. After the backing paper is removed, then the banner sentiment is adhered to it. And you can see there's a little tab right at the bottom. I'm first going to open those out, spread them apart, then add in some adhesive. Then that will fit right over top of that tab that is in the center of the stage. I'll use reverse tweezers to hold it in place. That helps to elevate the banner sentiment so it sits a little bit above the flowers. And of course it lies completely flat when folded down so that it can be popped into an envelope. That's a wrap for day 15. I hope you'll come back to join me for day 16. And as always, I appreciate your visit.